please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA, gateway to the 7 scene lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail Podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and I am chicken nuggetless, at least in the house. I'm all by myself, but I've called in. I've lit up the bat signal. Wait, is there an Avengers symbol? That's what I'm trying to reference, and I don't think there is one. Avengers assemble! Chicken nuggets assemble! And so I do have some superheroes on the line with me so that I'm not all by myself. You all don't want to suffer through another solo... Wait, solo? Anyway. We're off to a good start. So joining me today on the Monday Morning Monorail Hotline, reporting live from Orlando, is Samantha Monorail.
Hey, it's Samantha Monorail. Oh, and by the way, I just went into the Disney theme parks this past weekend.
You went into the Disney theme parks, did you?
Yep.
Which of the Disney theme parks did you go to?
So, I was going to go to Hollywood Studios instead. I rode the ride of Finding a House for the Family.
Oh.
But I had the VI pass holder thing on Sunday, which actually I haven't gone to yet, but I will tonight. And then yesterday I went to Animal Kingdom.
Nice. Yep. We saw some of the updates on the Monday Morning Monorail Twitter and Samantha Monorail's personal Twitter because she doesn't like using the Monday Morning Monorail Twitter.
I have a personal life too.
But yeah, so go check out those pictures. So that's cool. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. But first, let us introduce the man, the myth, the legend, the godfather of Chicken Nugget, Landon the Doane. Landon, welcome back to the Monorail.
I am Landon. Do a Iron Man Avengers type tie-in thing. Hi,
right.
everybody. It's me, Landon.
Oh, man. And then you turned into a robot there while you started. You're frozen up, dude.
And we're back. Apparently, my internet connection is unstable. I'm bringing that much energy.
Uh-oh. You're overloading the internet today. Let's hope it stabilizes.
Oh, boy.
But before we ever got started recording, There were no problems at all. Oh, there he is. Okay. Welcome back to the Monorail. It's episode number 54 of the Monday Morning Monorail Podcast, and today is April the 29th. We're coming up on the end of April, 1st of May, and I just want to say that I'm very excited because May is the last month that the Monorail family will be separated in two different locations. So, yeah, that's exciting. That's a very exciting feeling. By first week of June, we should all be totally relocated back to the Orlando area. Then Landon will probably be a part-time resident coming in frequently with his... Oh, wait.
Excuse me. Annual pass holder Landon Doane. That is how I demand to be introduced on this podcast, at least for the next year. Financially, we'll have to revisit that name about in a year.
I was going to say, I do feel somewhat jealous that, Landon, you've obtained the status of annual pass holder before I ever got the chance to. So, congratulations, sir.
Come at the king, you best not miss, baby.
Well, we have gathered today to actually talk about the trip where you obtained that annual pass. You yourself, Landon Doane, you went down to the Walt Disney World Resort just a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about it on M340. We said you were going to be going down, and we promised a trip report. And so, as you know, is implied in our mandate, here we are to deliver said trip report. And I wanted to ask you first, Landon, this was your first trip to Disney in how many years?
At least 3 to 4, like maybe as long as 5. It had been a hot minute since I'd been down there, so all of the Avatar, Pandora stuff was not even a thought when I was down there last. Now there was Toy Story Land, so there was a lot of new stuff that I hadn't ever experienced.
A lot of stuff has come and gone in that time too. So
yeah, I stood in line for the Great Hollywood Movie Ride. That was a really awkward conversation I had with a cast member. Yeah.
Did you ask where the sorcerer's hat was?
I know, yeah. I was all set for the picture. Buddy, we have some bad news.
That may have been gone the last time you were there, but I just like bringing it up because that's one of Samantha Monorail's favorite, things that she misses, the sorcerer hat.
It is iconic.
I mean, that was mine and McKenna's first trip ever, and we walk into Hollywood Studios, and I see this big hat, and I was like, oh, that's so cool! I know what that's from, I love
I get that reference.
She turned into Cap.
Well, I wasn't huge into movies like Justin and even you, Landon, because my family didn't watch TV. We weren't really allowed to stay in the house. We were kicked out. My mom wanted to be alone in the house, so so we played outside all the time and truly didn't watch TV. So
outside's terrifying. There's a giant ball of fire hanging above you at all time. And by the way, I found out the hard way. Definitely bring sunscreen and apply it multiple times a day when you're in Orlando, Florida.
Just one of the lessons learned. Yeah.
I think I still got a little bit of redneck for those of you watching on the video feed. And I've been back for like 2 weeks.
So, Landon, you were using the hashtag DawesDoesDisney. You were posting a lot of live updates from the parks. People can still go check those out now on your Twitter if they want to go see it. And if they start and do it chronologically, they can see you. It's like you're cooking in an oven. You gradually becoming a lobster over time.
Yeah, I think the final update I gave, because I'll be honest, like, it was a lot to do several live updates throughout the day, so I just decided to enjoy my vacation at one point. I think in my last hashtag DawesDoesDisney, I introduced myself as Lobster because I am just completely red, and it hurt to breathe at that point. But once again, sunscreen and aloe vera, ladies and gentlemen.
Sunscreen and aloe, don't forget it.
Yeah, I think Landon may have got a little bit of sun poisoning through all of it, because the sun will mess you up if you're not hydrated well and you're really super burnt. It doesn't matter how much hydration though you have. If you get really burnt, that will make you feel awful.
I will say, I think because Jay made reference, it had been a hot minute since I'd been down there, hot, no pun intended, I felt like I had to make up for lost time, and I think I overloaded my schedule, too, in addition to maybe getting borderline sun poisoning and not drinking enough water. But other than that, I had a great time.
Well, it's funny because I pretty plainly remember that before you left, we gave you 2 pieces of advice that you did not listen to. One of them was sunscreen often, and the other one was don't try to do everything. And you ignored both of those things.
You know I don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, but I did make him kind of do some of the shows that he's never seen before.
Yes, and I wanted to talk about that. I now have a new favorite thing at Walt Disney World because of Samantha Monorail.
Okay, well, let's start it off then. Let's talk about shows. So tell us all about your experience watching these shows.
The Lion King show was amazing. How has nobody told me this? Like I almost came to tears a couple times. Like don't tell Sam I was trying to keep a macho persona going. But like just the music and the stage performance, the acrobats, just everything put together. It was like I was blown away. Just talking about it again for those with the aid of visuals, like you can see the hair stand up. It's like it was just so amazing, and it's a very nice reprieve when you have sun poisoning.
Exactly. It's a great show, and until our trip in July, I had not seen the Lion King show. So we saw that when we went back in July 2018, and then we watched it again when we went down for this trip in spring break, and it's something you can go see multiple times. One of the things that's cool about it is because it's in the center of like the way the audience is set up in the round, basically. You can sit in different sections and kind of get different views and have a different experience every time too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
I went to Animal Kingdom yesterday, and I watched, I took my friends because I knew that they would love it. And I got to sit in an area that I've never been seated in before. And we were where it was the elephant is. Mm-hmm. And on the elephant float, there's actually at one part a little waterfall that comes out of, on the float.
Wow.
And I never noticed it. And I was like, look at that, that's a waterfall.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What section did you all sit in when you went together?
We were the warthog.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Warthog.
I've never been a warthog. That's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't make a good warthog noise, so I stopped about halfway through. It's like I'm here in spirit, guys, not necessarily in noise.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that is a good show.
Yeah,
I've
I was blown away. Okay, well, Miss, I've been in all of them. Do you have a favorite?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love them all.
You like to celebrate the entire catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you like being the giraffe and trying to make that noise every time?
Ah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a goat. It's like, I didn't want to be that guy, but that's a goat.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Did you see any other shows that you would recommend?
When I was in Hollywood Studio, I kind of stood off to the side and watched one of the Star Wars stage shows they had kind of at the center of I guess, Hollywood Studio. I didn't get there at the beginning, but like, I just kind of stood off and watched from the side. What was cool, after it was done, I was right where all of the costumed characters made their exit and walked back into the Star Wars hangar area or whatever. And I thought that was really cool, like being that close to such amazing, like practically screen accurate costumes.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they look really good. And that show, here's what I would say about that show. If you happen to be there where the sorcerer's hat used to be, when the show's starting, yeah, it's worth to stop and watch, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see it. Like, I think the March of the First Order is pretty cool with Phasma coming through, because otherwise it's just like, it's kind of like, all right, and here's Kylo Ren, and he comes on stage, and here's Rey, and here's Chewbacca, and then that's really all. They come up, they do a couple moves, you clap for them, they leave.
Though I will say, when I was in Toy Story Land later in the day, or in the Pixar Pavilion, whatever it's called, scared the bejesus out of every one of us when those fireworks went off. Like, people were diving, hitting the ground. It was hilarious.
That's good. Well,
did you see the Green Army Men in Toy Story Land?
Yeah, when I was standing in line to get my picture taken with Buzz Lightyear, at one point we just hear like a drum line coming out from behind us. We're like, what is going on? And everybody looks over, and here comes the Green Army Men, like busting it down, talking with the audience. It's like, speaking of Toy Story Land, I know everybody's like super thumbs up, gung ho about Pandora. Don't get me wrong, that's cool. I think Toy Story Land is the best new addition to any Walt Disney World property since I had been down there last.
Wow.
It felt so immersive, like with the way the world was built with like the Lincoln Logs and stuff like that. Like even if when you're going into the Fast Pass for Midway Mania, you look up, it's like, oh, that awning is made of Uno cards.
Yeah.
Like, I loved everything about Toy Story Land. And then it's like, I thought Slinky Dog Ride was really cool too.
Slinky Dog's so much fun.
Yeah.
Did you fast pass or have to stand by Slinky Dog?
I stood in line for Slinky Dog, and I only had to wait 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Yeah, that wasn't super bad, and it's like, I actually stood in line the first day I was at Animal Kingdom. I stood in line for Flight of Passage because it was only 140 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which I mean, in the scheme of things, it wasn't that bad. And plus, once I got inside the, like, I guess past the holding area, the special words single rider. Right.
There you go.
Yeah, I got to jump like 15 minutes ahead just because of single rider. That was nice. And also single rider, kind of the way to do it at Epcot. It's like, y'all can have fun 55 minutes for a test track. I'm going to do it in 10.
Yeah. It really is amazing. Like for Everest at Animal Kingdom, for test track, for anywhere you can do single rider, if your party's up for it, it really saves a lot of time.
With Everest, I literally was just get off, get back on, I did that 3 times single rider.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Landon's forgetting a show that he watched in Epcot in France.
Oh yeah. With a special guest star, I got to see the I don't even know how to describe them. I guess they're the acrobatic. It's like a comedic table stacking type thing, and there's audience participation, and one Samantha Monorail was part of said audience that participated in this show, and it was awesome.
That doesn't surprise me, actually. When you spend enough time with Sam, you realize when you're in a situation where someone can get picked out of a crowd for a show, it happens to her like half the time. At least half the time. She's one of those people.
I don't know why. I don't do anything.
No,
I
it's
just
something you give off some kind of energy where if we went to a magic show and they're like, let me find a volunteer from the audience, that you wouldn't even raise their hand. They'd be like, you! And it's crazy. I don't know what it is, but you get selected a lot for things.
Well, her audience participation magnetism was definitely in full effect because she found herself seated in one of these chairs, and I never would have even known this show existed if she hadn't been like, let's stand here for a second, and as soon as you start hearing whistles, we need to go over here. And sure enough, 5 minutes later, out come these whistling, silent jugglers, waiter type things, and it was funny, and it's pretty much a stacking show.
Yeah.
With no words, they're able to tell a story, get jokes across, and I don't know how many times I said please don't die watching the guy get really he had to be 30 feet off the ground.
Wow.
Standing on a stack of chairs.
It was pretty high up.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, he's so gonna die. This is gonna put such a damper on my vacation. But thankfully he didn't die, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it's fun getting selected. But
brag.
I don't know how it happens. I really don't. But it was really fun. And then I feel like I don't know, I got Landon to slow down a little and do some of the things he didn't do before, And
that's exactly what I was going to say about this, is that a lot of people probably don't realize how much entertainment there is, not just in the World Showcase, but I think people underestimate a lot of the shows, just like you said about the Lion King show, the Festival of the Lion King, Landon. And you all didn't see Nemo, but I'm telling you, that Nemo musical is so good. It's something that you would see. In my opinion, it's like Broadway quality. It's that good.
I'm glad you said that because I almost compared the Lion King show to something you would see on Broadway. So
yeah. So I think that, yes, you want to do Flight of Passage. Yes, you want to do Slinky Dog. But sometimes if you're looking at a 2-hour wait for something like Flight of Passage, or you can go hop over and watch a Nemo show or a Festival of the Lion King, you're going to get more out of your time doing that than, Flight of Passage is amazing, and I'm not trying to say it's not. I'm just saying it's okay because there are other options where you can really make the most of your time. Slow down and enjoy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's definitely something Samantha did on our day when we were park hopping. She was like, let's just slow down and breathe this in. It's like I'd never really spent any time in the Japan area of the World Showcase Pavilion, so I was able to go into that almost said a word I can't say on this BG podcast, that really cool Japanese gift shop, and just being able to go through all of that. And then we went into that museum area where it was displays of the super cute anime style.
Oh, yeah. The kawaii.
I thought that, the kawaii. I thought that was really cool, and it's I wouldn't have done any of that unless she's like, all right, Beavis, let's put the brakes on and enjoy this. Not everything is standing in line to ride a ride.
Yeah.
I showed him the back, the area of Canada too, where the waterfall is.
Oh, that was so pretty. And I'll be honest, as somebody who was borderline having sun poisoning, the water and the breeze coming off of that waterfall felt so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitsukoshi is really cool. That's the department store you went in Japan, and I think it's the best shopping you can do in all of World Showcase. It's so fun. And I don't know,
it's fun. That's
where I found the Godzilla doing the suck it motion.
Dude, I came this close to leaving with so many Godzilla shirts and hoodies, this close.
Yeah, and I'm going to end up going back in there and getting that Agrasuko shirt, because that's my spirit animal. That metal cat.
Yeah.
I love her.
So, Landon, I know we're jumping around with your trip report, but I feel like it kind of makes sense.
Hey, that's kind of what I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's like park hopping, and it kind of makes sense to do things in categories of experience. So the next thing I want to talk about is character meet and greets, because I know you had some pretty good ones. You got to meet the 90th celebration, 90th birthday Mickey and Minnie, right?
No, I didn't get to meet them. I did get to meet them at Animal Kingdom when in their safari get-ups.
Oh, okay. I was confused. So, you met Mickey and Minnie together?
Yes, together.
Yeah.
In their safari get-ups at Animal Kingdom, and might have gotten a little dusty.
Somebody was cutting onions around there?
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't think they would do that. I specifically said I have an onion allergy, but whatever. But yeah, that was really cool.
Well, I know before you went down there, you were saying, you were asking me, you were like, is it going to be weird for a grown man by himself to be standing in line to meet the characters? I was like, no, not at all. People do this. That's part of the experience. And would you say that you're glad that you did it?
Oh, I'm 1,000% glad that I did it. And at one point, literally, the first character meet and greet I did was the Mickey and Minnie, and I'm standing in line behind a family of 4 with a little boy and a little girl, and the mom's like, "Oh, hey, how are you? Like who are you here with?" It's like, "Oh, I'm just here by myself." And they thought that was really cool. So they were inclusive or whatever. I didn't get in the picture with their family or whatever. But, nor did I want to. But it's like, I'm so glad I did it. And it's like, there were other parts where it's just like, F it, have fun, man. You're on vacation. Like unless you're actively infringing on other people's fun and, hindering them, do it, man. Have fun. Like, wear a ridiculous outfit if that's what you want to.
Yeah, get into it.
Yeah, go nuts. I mean, not literally nuts, because you don't want to spend any time in Disney jail. But I mean, like, I'm so glad I did stuff like that, because I just said, screw it, let's have fun.
What were some of your other favorite meet and greets you did?
Chewbacca.
Of
I got
course.
to meet Chewbacca. He's big and hairy, and he's lovable, and gave me a hug. We almost struck up a deal. My R2 ears for his bowcaster
The bandolier.
Stash. Yeah. We came this close, but his handler wouldn't let us do it. That was awesome. And then on the complete opposite side was Kylo Ren. Holy Lord. Like I get it, you gotta stay in character, but God bless. Like next time I go down there, I'm gonna bring a Snickers, because he he is not himself when he was hungry. Like he made it awkward. Apparently you're also not supposed to joke with him. Because at one point he's like, "You tell the resistance we are coming for them," and I'm like, "Cool, like 4 or 5 this afternoon, we'll put out some snacks." and both of his handlers looked at me like I just apparently joked with the Sith Lord, and they ushered me out. So apparently, don't do that, or bring Space Axel the next time you go see Kylo Ren. But yeah, that was a character experience, to say the very least.
I would love to know if anyone's had an interaction with Kylo Ren where it wasn't at least partly awkward. And I think it's because, not to ruin the magic for anyone, but of course he's saying pre-recorded phrases, right? So there's only certain things that he can say, and you're trying to have a interactive, off-the-cuff experience with him, and it makes it a bit difficult. But there are other times where I think other characters do this, and it's not as awkward. I think it's because he's supposed to be so emo and intense, and
a wiener cosplayer.
Yeah, and you got to go in there, and he's acting all and everybody's acting all serious. But I will say, I kind of felt did you do the BB-8 meet and greet?
No, I started to, and then it's like I needed to eat something, because I realized I hadn't done that all day. It was 3.
So we did that one too, and I think that one is a bit similar. It's a little weird. You don't know exactly what to do. You feel like you're always standing in the wrong place. You're not sure. It's just.
And another thing that kind of I guess steered me away from BB-8 was I also read half the time the character experience doesn't always work, and sometimes they're okay, BB has to go to sleep, and they just put a tarp over him and wheel him out, which it's oh. Yeah,
so I don't know. I would like to hear from our listeners out there. If you've met Kylo Ren and it has not been an awkward experience, what was your secret? How did you pull that off?
Did you bring him an Evanescence album or something?
It was weird. And so, who else did you meet? Did you get to meet anybody else cool?
I got to meet Buzz Lightyear.
Nice.
That was super awesome, and I got to give him a big, awkward man hug around his big, giant costume. That was awesome. He is chunky, thick, I believe the kids would describe him as. But yeah, we got to do fun superhero poses and stuff like that. I was gonna meet Woody and Jesse, but that was a 45-minute wait, and I just could not justify doing that.
Right.
And this is something that Samantha and I almost did. We almost stood in line to meet Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope, and I kind of wish we did, but it was still cool to see them. I was gonna go get in line to meet Mike and Sully at #AlwaysMGM. Look at me staying on brand, but I ran out of time. So.
Okay. Yeah, both of those are things I think I'd like to do in the future. I haven't yet met Vanellope and Ralph, but that looks like a cool meet and greet for sure.
Yeah, and plus it's immediately right after you get off Figment, so that's cool. I know it's not called
You've never
Fig.
done before, right, Landon?
I know. I had never done this iteration of Journey into Your Imagination, so that was a cool first experience for me.
Yeah, okay, so this is a good segue into rides. So you can talk about that one first. So do you remember the old iteration? Can you...
Very Very vaguely.
Okay.
I was a wee little Landon when I wrote it back in the day, but I had never written this iteration of Journey into Your Imagination. I really dug it. I mean, I'm a honk for Figment, and because I'm a annual pass holder, and he's on all the pass holder merchandise for the Flower and Garden Festival. I came home with a lot of Figment merch.
Nice.
But yeah, I really dug it. And it's one of those songs that gets ingrained into your memory and will come out. It's just at the randomest times and stay there for forever. So
It's a good song. It's catchy.
it is a good song, and plus it's almost called him Eric Andre, but I know it's not him.
Eric Idle.
Eric Idle. There we go. I loved him being in the ride.
Yeah, it is cool. I would like them to do something a little bit like if they ever brought back the Dreamfinder, because I love the Dreamfinder.
Yeah.
And I would like Eric Idle to still somehow be part of it if they could do that, but I would like to see a combo of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Bringing back the Dreamfinder would be cool, or at least like a character experience with him.
Right. That would be awesome. Yeah. What else did you get to ride for the first time?
I already talked about it, Flight of Passage. I thought it was good. Thumbs up. Highly recommend.
Did it live up to the hype, though?
Yes, it did. I literally walked off of that ride with my jaw open. It rendered me speechless walking off of the ride. And it's like, I was talking with some people after we got off the ride, and he compared it to Soarin'. I'm like, yeah, but it's like this is like filet mignon, and Soarin's like hamburger helper. And it's like, I will say, I got to ride the new Soarin', which we'll get to in a second, and I liked more than the old Soarin', but it's like, I thought Flight of Passage lived up to the hype and then some. Like, the smells, that's what stuck with me the most. Like, the smells that you get on the ride. Like, I just loved everything about it. So thumbs up on Flight of Passage, even if I did have to wait only 2 hours.
What other first-time ride experiences did you have in the parks?
I got a new favorite wet ride at Walt Disney World. It's Expedition Everest. Because I got on Expedition Everest right as a heavy, heavy rainstorm opened up right over Animal Kingdom, and that was one of the best experiences I've ever had on any ride. I mean, I got off of that thing soaked to the bone, head to toe, just dripping water, but flying in and out of the mountain through that rain, it was amazing. If you can line it up, of course, if there's lightning and thunder, maybe don't ride it. But if Disney is still letting you get on Expedition Everest in the rain, I highly freaking recommend it. It was so much fun.
Okay.
And then I got to ride the new Soarin', Soarin' Around the World or whatever. It was fun. I enjoyed it a whole lot more than the original Soarin' or my the time that I wasn't allowed to have fun on a Walt Disney ride, as we previously knew it as. But I thought it had kind of a dark ending. I did not expect us to be shot down and killed over Epcot. Disney shooting us down. It's like, okay, we get it. It's a no-flies. And they sent Tinkerbell to do it. That's just really dark. I thought that was messed up. But other than that, right up until that point, it was a good ride.
Tinkerbell, the assassin.
I know. Nobody saw it coming.
Hey, she does try to kill Wendy.
She does. That's a good point.
That is
She's
true. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, before we go to Disney Springs, is there anything else that happened in the parks that you wanted to mention? Good experiences, first-time experiences. We didn't talk about food.
Oh, yeah. I got to eat beef brisket and poutine fries, and that was amazing.
Nice. Did you?
Yeah.
You ate at Satu-Lee, didn't you?
Yeah, the Pandora restaurant. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. We ended up getting kids' meals. I got a hot dog and grapes, so it was amazing.
Not what I would have recommended from Satu-Lee, but okay.
But you also have to remember, I have the palate of a 7-year-old, so strictly chicken nuggets and green M&Ms.
I think you would have liked at least the burger pod if you'd tried that one.
Had onion in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I would have had a bad time at that point.
Well.
Yeah, he wouldn't even try mine.
But I
knows what I likes.
But you did eat at Yak and Yeti.
Yes, love Yak and Yeti. I had the spring rolls with the Austin sauce. Then I had the Kobe burger, which was just out of this world.
Nice.
I went to Drinkwalla's. Is that the place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had one of their Lynchburg lemonade type things. It was really tasty. Very refreshing, had a nice kick to it, so I liked that. Had the red and green beer from Avatar Land. They were okay. They're all right.
Did you eat at Woody's Lunchbox?
Yes, I did. I had me one of them big old Pop-Tarts. Really sweet. I could not finish it. I had the raspberry one. It was really good, but I felt like if I ate it, I would have to sit down and take a nap and then maybe go into a diabetic coma. But it was really good. And then, of course, that was my breakfast, and I topped that off with a giant blue moon. So vacation. But yeah, I went to Woody's Lunchbox. Wanted to go back and get the tachos. I remember Garrett talking on those, but it just didn't happen. It's like I had all this stuff planned, and a lot of it didn't happen.
Things went kind of sideways. One of the interesting things, we've kind of talked about it but not really dug into it, is that you spent a lot of time on this trip solo, which is something people talk about all the time. I think that people think it's an interesting concept to like go to Disney solo, but they feel kind of nervous about it, like it's going to be weird. It seems to me, based on, we were talking the whole time you were there, that you were meeting a lot of people. Like, people were talking to you and, like, in lines, and I think you got set up on more than one blind date that maybe didn't work out, but all kinds of things were happening.
Yeah, I for somebody who went down by himself, I quickly made friends. That was neat. That's, I guess, part of the magic of the parks. Everybody's just super friendly and wants to make friends. So, yeah, you made reference to it. I was set up on... tried to get set up on several blind dates. One of them actually did happen, but yeah, that was fun.
Nice. Oh,
hashtag does Disney, baby.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so I think what I'm trying to kind of get at here is it's almost like you've got experience with going to things like Dragon Con, like nerd conventions. It's almost a little bit of that kind of atmosphere where you go to Disney and you're part of it. Like, you're not really by yourself. Did you ever feel super awkward or anything?
No, I really didn't. And what you said, it's almost like a giant, you're part of the atmosphere and everybody's just having fun. I ran into that a lot, and it's like, we already made reference to it, like the single rider line. That's a freaking way of life. If you go by yourself, it's like you can bypass so many lines, or like even standing in line, all you got to do is listen for them to say, do we have any party of one? And boom, hand of God, throw it up, and you just bypass everybody else. It's like, I enjoyed going down by myself, but I never felt like I was by myself. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think that if people are considering it, like, this is a good story because do it. This lines up.
I highly recommend it.
It lines up to a lot of what I've heard from other people who have done this. Is you get to, you make your own schedule. You never really feel like you're on your own because people want to interact with you. I mean, even when we're there in groups, like if you wear shirts that have references to, like, I wear a Doctor Who shirt to the parks, people are going to talk to me about Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. It's an automatic icebreaker. Different things like that.
I was wearing my Cubs hat one day in the park, and just I don't know how many conversations I ended up getting in about the Cubs. Of course, that was when the Cubs were being kind of terrible, but thankfully they've righted the ship and they're above 500. So. Yeah.
Well, and I go by myself most of the time right now, and I'm ready for you guys to be here, but
we're on our way.
Yeah, seriously. But no one ever really bothers me or is rude or anything, and people, when they talk to me, they're like, oh, you're here alone? And one lady was like, I wish I would do more things like that and not be afraid to go out on my own. And I was like, Disney's the perfect place to do it, It
is.
But it's just, I don't know, like the kids in line talk to me because kids will talk to anyone. And I've gotten some prizes. And yesterday I got a prize and I gave it to a little kid. And I was like, you want this? And they were like, oh. And I was thinking, it probably cost Disney 99 cents to get this little stuffed animal. But that made their day. So,
exactly.
How'd you get a prize? Where'd you get a prize?
Dino Land.
Oh, did you play one of the carnival games?
I played the basketball game, and
you
I won a small prize.
Whoa!
I did.
Wow, I didn't know that. Way to go.
Yeah, thanks.
Look at that. She has game.
Well, now this means you have to go with me to the NBA experience.
Oh,
no, Sam. Look
yes.
What you did to yourself. Oh, no.
Obviously, you're meant to be there.
Okay.
Opening at Disney Springs soon.
While we're speaking of sport-themed restaurants, if you ever find yourself in Universal City Walk, surprisingly, the NBC Sports Bar and Grill has a really good chicken Caesar salad.
Good point. The NBA experience, however, is not a restaurant. It's an experience.
So excuse me. What are you not going to be able to experience like 3.0 onion rings or something?
There's no food there, as far as I know. It's all kinds of
just give it
activities
time.
and things. Well, maybe there could be. I know there'll be a big
There's got to be some
souvenir
TV
shop
somewhere.
for sure, where you can probably get like astronaut ice cream for no good reason.
Yeah, you can get LeBron James gummy bears.
Oh, there used to be, sorry, this is totally not connected to Disney, but there used to be LeBron James pink lemonade Bubblicious bubblegum, and it was so good. It was
What?
great. It was really
What a
good.
bizarre random pairing.
I know. I don't know why.
Of all the things. All right.
I'm excited about that. But while we're talking about Disney Springs, this is a good segue because you got to go to Disney Springs and you did something that I was so excited for you to do, and I talked to you like afterwards, and I've got to hear. Tell us all about your experience at the Void.
The Void was amazing. I will say I kind of felt like I was playing at a little bit of a disadvantage because I did the Star Wars, Escape from the Empire or something like that, whatever it's
Something
called.
like
I did the Star Wars experience, and it's a 4-person experience. My squad had 3. And one of them was a 7-year-old kid. So
He's a little
don't get me
short for a
wrong.
stormtrooper.
And I even made that joke because I had to. It's like he ended like by the end when we was like, all right, because at one point you have to like pretty much play Simon Says to open up one of the doors, and when everybody figured out, all right, him and his dad, y'all will be cover for me, and I'm gonna play Simon Says. We were able to get through that part, but it's like that is a completely 100% fully immersive experience, like something I had never ever experienced. Like even though I knew I was in a strip mall, or I was in a strip mall in Orlando, Florida. Even though I knew that, it still felt like I was standing on a scaffolding above a pit of lava. I was terrified to walk out over the bridge because it was that immersive. It was amazing. I want to do it again when I go back with a full group.
I want to do it again. I think we need to do it as a group.
I'd be down.
I think that would be really fun. It's one of those things I could do it over and over again because there's so many things to see. There's so many things to do. And it's once you're in there, you are surrounded by Star Wars, and you smell it, you feel it, you hear it. You said you got shot a few times.
Oh my god, yeah.
When you get
it's unsettling.
It is. It's weird because you feel yourself get shot, and it's cool though. Like it doesn't hurt, but you know you got shot.
But like I made reference, I was playing, Space Simon Says while my teammates were covering me. I got shot in the back while I was doing that, completely disoriented. I'm like, oh god, what was that? And I even reacted. It's like, oh, you want to shoot me? And I started taking pot shots with my blaster. I mean, like it was so much fun.
It's great. I am really excited to try the Ralph experience because I bet it'd be really fun too.
Mm-hmm.
While you were at Disney Springs, I know you ate at Morimoto because, of course, Sam was there, and that's required dining. Did you enjoy Morimoto?
That place was amazing. Those rib things might be the most tasty thing I've ever had. Like across any type of food. Those ribs were amazing. And then they also the night we were there had a special for they took shiitake mushrooms and chopped them up and then breaded them and fried them, so it was almost like shiitake mushroom fries. Those were amazing.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And then we had their bang bang shrimp was so good. It's kind of like with the spicy aioli. And then what was the drink that we had, Sam? It wasn't an old fashioned.
Oh,
but it was kind of like an
Manhattan.
Yeah, I think it was a Manhattan we had. It was really good.
It was really good.
And then we ended up getting pictures taken of us by some random lady who was walking around the restaurant, and I ended up buying them, and they were hilarious. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Before I went to Morimoto's with Sam, I had been down at I believe it was Jock Lindsay.
Yeah, the Hangar Bar.
The Hangar Bar, and I was there for 2 hours, just sitting almost on the water, drinking beer, and I had one of their green drinks. That was really good.
Reggie's
I love
Revenge.
the atmosphere. Yeah. It's I was trying to remember the name of it. And it was funny because you tweeted at me literally as I was posting a tweet of me drinking one. So clearly, great minds think alike. And then we went to Enzo's Hideaway.
Yes.
That place was so cool. The atmosphere. It's Disney Springs is so cool. It's I kind of felt like I could have spent an entire day down at Disney Springs.
You can.
Just going from restaurant to restaurant, maybe go to a couple of shops. I went to the Marvel experience. That was very disappointing. I'm not going to lie. It was just a bunch of bad Marvel merch, but whatever.
Yeah.
And though it was weird when I was leaving. I volunteered to do one of those exit interviews or surveys or whatever, and one of the questions was, "Why didn't you go to the Disney store?" I'm like, "Because I didn't think to," and also Stitch spit on me, so that was gross. That definitely kept me from going into that store.
World of Disney's cool though. I always like going in World of Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I really should have, especially since I am now an annual pass holder and I can get 20% off on merchandise. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I'm glad you got to go to Jacques Lindsay's. I haven't been to every lounge or bar in Disney Springs or even, on the property, but Jacques Lindsay's is tough to beat, I think. It's such a cool environment. They've got cool drinks.
Yeah, and I wish I could remember the waitress I had. She was from Tennessee as well, so we were able to bond on that. But it's like everybody that was down there that I met, not just at Jacques Lindsay at Disney Springs, but everybody across everywhere at the Walt Disney World properties, like amazing customer service. I know it's probably, not earth-shattering to hear that, but it's like it felt so nice that, yeah, these people are at their jobs, but you can feel like they're having fun. Or if they're not, they're really good actors.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like to be a cast member, you have to, there's a couple of things. One of them, you have to like people and interacting with people. But the other is you have to be all in on the Disney stuff and the magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're not going to be a successful cast member, I would imagine.
No, and you will stand out from the other people who are all in, where you're just kind of like, yeah, this is stupid. I'm here for a paycheck.
Yeah, that's cool. And it sounds like you got to have a lot of cool first-time experiences on this trip. I'm sorry that you got fried like a French fry in the Florida sun.
Yeah, woof. If I had it to do over again, there would be some stuff I'd do differently on this trip, and hydration and sunscreen would be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you missed out. You were going to do the after hours at Magic Kingdom, and you couldn't do it because you weren't feeling so well that night.
Yeah, like that's another thing that I would do differently. Like I said earlier in this podcast, I loaded my plate up with so much because I felt like I had to make up for the years that I'd missed, and I overdid it. Like I almost walked myself to death. Like my feet were bleeding every day at the end of my trip, and it's like, Sam was right. I probably did have sun poisoning, and I nearly passed out due to exhaustion a couple times. So take care of yourself when you're down doing the whole Walt Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've really come around, especially since we started doing this podcast, and then, we've been a couple times since we started doing the podcast. I've come around from this whole, like, you've got to go commando style. You've got to do everything you can. You got to make the most of your time. That's the way that I always used to be, and I'm not that way anymore because you think you're doing it right by trying to ride every ride, see every show, go to all these restaurants because you're trying to make the most of your trip. But you're really, how much are you enjoying it if you're wearing yourself out, you're getting sunburnt, you're tired, you're hungry, at the end of the day your feet are bleeding, you get sick, and you're rushing around. One of my favorite memories from the trip we took in 2014 was when we got to the end of that trip. There was a day that we planned to park hop from Magic Kingdom to Epcot, and we started out in Magic Kingdom in the morning, and we just went to Tomorrowland, and we just hung out. We didn't have any fast passes. We were just like, let's just go hang out. We ended up meeting Stitch that day because he was wandering around in Tomorrowland. We rode the People Mover. We rode Space Mountain. We just kind of hung out. We did the Monsters, Inc. laugh floor. And really, that's all we did in Magic Kingdom that day, and it was so fun because we were relaxed. We were just taking in the atmosphere and just hanging out and having a good time and doing what we could, and it was the best. That was, of all the days, if I compare that to the day we went to the Magic Kingdom and we tried to do everything, I would much prefer having that day where the only thing we did was Tomorrowland and we didn't do anything else. So
and see, like if I had to do my trip over again, and when I do my next Disney trip, I'm going to subscribe to that thought process because I was of the mindset going commando. I have to do everything. Like I had my fast passes set 30 days out. I had my food reservations set out even further than that, and it's like I spread myself way too thin. I put way too much on my plate. Yeah,
it's vacation at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's vacation. Fun will be had by all. Mandatory fun.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's what it felt like. It's like my body is like, you need to slow down. It's like, body, I have a fast pass for Big Thunder Mountain. Let's go. And by the end of the trip, my body's like, no, we're not doing that.
Did you end up seeing any of the nighttime shows? That's something I didn't ask you about.
No, and it's like I started to hang around for what is it, Festival of Lights at Animal Kingdom, but that was the first day that I got there, and I was like I don't do well flying, so I was exhausted from that and exhausted from park that day. So, but it's like, I'll be honest, it's like the nighttime stuff is cool, but I'd rather, beat the traffic, get out, or, just watch it on YouTube. Sorry.
I would recommend, and now, hey, you're an annual pass holder, so maybe you can take advantage. Go in the park, get there 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and just with the plan of, I'm just hanging out and I'm going to watch the nighttime show. You really need to see Happily Ever After in person. It's totally different than seeing it on YouTube for sure. Rivers of Light, take it or leave it. We got the news. We got the news this week that Rivers of Light's being updated, and they're going to start including these Disney nature film stuff in it, and some of the IPs and different things. It's because Rivers of Light is it's an interesting concept for a show, but there's really not much of a story to it. They've taken away the live actors, which to me gave it actual personality and character and life, and so now it's just kind of a weird concept.
Can I add to that real quick? So, I saw Rivers of Light with my friends. River of Light?
River of Light? I don't know.
I don't know.
River.
The Lighted River. I saw that with my friends, and they've never even seen any of the shows or anything, but they were like, oh, it was okay, that wasn't bad. But the live actors being gone really takes it away. So they project a picture, like a shadow on the cell of what the person would have been doing, and it looked almost just like, come on, just leave the people out of it, because you got rid of them. Stop trying to pretend they're there. It was not good.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever really make time to go see it again.
It'll be interesting. I mean, because they are changing it. It's getting updated. I would like to see it after it's updated, but I don't feel like I'm going to make it a priority to rush there. But the other thing to keep in mind is Illuminations is going away, right? So you've got to see, I would recommend seeing that maybe one more time before it's gone, but then you're going to have Epcot Forever, which I think will be pretty cool to see.
Okay.
I'll tell you this, I have never seen the Star Wars show at the nighttime Hollywood Studios show. If I've got a choice at Hollywood Studios, I'd like to see the Star Wars show, but I always end up going to Fantasmic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they're worth it to see. Do I think you need to see them every day you go to the park? No, I don't. But Happily Ever After is pretty amazing in person.
# wishes forever.
I love wishes. I love it. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying this is not comparing the two, just saying, wow, this one, it'll get you. It'll get you.
Well, now that I am annual pass holder Landon Doane, I can go down to the park on a more regular basis. So maybe, just maybe, I'll squeeze that into my annual pass holder schedule.
You should. And bless you, Sam.
Thank you. I kind of want to go back to the beginning of the podcast and talk about,
you want to start over? Welcome aboard the Monday morning.
Listen to how we used to speak about Disney, because I remember it feeling like, okay, Justin's making us do this Disney thing, and I was fine with it, but I was like, this isn't what I really thought we would be doing. And then time goes on, and I'm like, all right, we need to go to Disney. And then time goes on, and somehow I've moved out here.
Yeah, you really got it bad in this.
And yesterday, whenever I was with my friends, they were like, wow, we can tell you really love Disney. And I was like, I think I do. And that's weird, because it wasn't that big of a deal to me before.
Now I'm going to hang the Mission Accomplished banner behind me. We're going to have a press conference. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her.
We did it.
It'll be good for when you're selling the house, mission accomplished. They'll be like, well, they achieved something.
Exactly.
Maybe we should
and
buy
you
this
too
house.
can achieve something by buying this house.
That's right.
And don't move the sign. It's actually a load-buried mission accomplished.
Yeah.
We'll tell people that we have instilled a lot of Disney magic into this house. So
yeah,
we're getting a little something
you
extra.
Have to find someone who cares about that, though.
Oh, if they don't care, I don't want them living in this house.
That's actually why his realtor is Chippendale.
All right, well, as usual, I promised that this episode was probably only going to be 30 minutes, and we've recorded nearly an hour. So at this point, I think we should wrap it up, unless, Landon, you've got some things we didn't cover that you wanted to say about your trip.
I got to partake in the photo experience for the Haunted Mansion.
I
thought that was cool. The picture that I ended up taking might happen to be the absolute worst picture of me ever. I look either confused or gassy. Which I mean, for me, is pretty par for the course, but that's not how I wanted the Haunted Mansion to remember me. You, Jay, were talking on, speaking of photo experiences, on the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
At one point, you're looking completely. Oh, I did the exact same thing. my picture of pirates, I could be standing up, looking directly in the back. That's how far I was looking away from the photo pass. So that was great. I'm trying to think what else.
We need to figure out if it really is where I think it is. Then you must have been looking at the skeleton pirate.
That's exactly what I was looking at. I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Wait, did I just miss the picture? And lo and behold, I just missed the picture.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what else. The other Avatar ride, the river one.
Na'vi, yeah.
Ride it once, never again.
Okay. I would
that
agree.
Blueberry croissant donut thing at Taste Track and Epcot for the Flower and Garden Festival. That thing was amazing. Me and Sam split it. I had fun.
That's what matters. And we're leaving out the fact that you spent a few days going to some other park over nearby in Orlando.
Though I will say, when I was at definitely not Universal and definitely not Islands of Adventure, they seemed to be really receptive of me wearing my Macho Man Randy Savage t-shirt, because half of the people there would give me a Macho Man impersonation whenever I walked by them. So that was nice. That's one thing that
brother, walking around the Universal.
Did not do, which is kind of messed up, because Macho Man Randy Savage used to shoot at MGM Hollywood Studio, #always MGM.
Yeah, he did. Oh, yeah.
Yes, Saturday night, yeah.
Okay,
and
so...
also WCW Nitro. You started it, not me.
Well, now you gotta do your plugs in the Macho Man voice, yeah.
Twitter.
Snap it to a Slim Jim.
Linda's LANDOC, baby. Dig it. All right, sir. That's where you can find the latest from me, 280 characters at a time. Also on the website, buttmunchchips.com, buttmunchchips.
Sit on your butt and munch, yeah.
Yeah, where you can find the exclusively posted Game of Thrones talk, a.k.a. Got Talk, where myself and Hunter Reese and Cousin Kevin break down each episode of HBO's award-winning series, Game of Thrones. We should, by the time this episode is posted, have a breakdown of episodes 1 and 2, and then we'll be almost caught up for episode 3 that dropped last night. And oh my God, can you believe that everybody died? And I'm saying that without have actually seen the episode, but I just know everybody's gonna die. But yeah, that's where you can find that. It also should be in the iTunes store. I think I'm paying somebody to do that now, so I should check on that. Also, the R&D project with myself and Will Rapp. We talk about stuff. Also available in the iTunes store. Oh, and I'm on the Phil Show on newstalk987.com, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. Stream us live, newstalk987.com, and available on the iHeartRadio app.
I always love how that's just like a postscript. Oh, yeah, and I'm actually on the radio getting paid.
Yeah, the one thing that gives me a paycheck that almost keeps me in beer. I'm just going to plug in at the end.
While we're doing plugs, I do want to throw in a couple more shout-outs for some of our podcasting cousins out there in the internet world. We got a couple more promos to run this week. The first one I'm going to run is for a little podcast you've probably heard us talk about in the past, and that would be Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz, starring Jen and Frank Cardillo. They're siblings, and they love Disney, and they're cool. So here's their promo.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Jen.
Together, we are the sibling duo behind Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
Or two Disney kids growing old.
But never as old as you. Old.
Each week we explore the nostalgia, the tradition, the magic, and the memories through 1,000 points of improvised dialogue.
And 1,000 tangents.
What kind of tangents?
Hallmark movies.
True.
Beverly Hills 90210.
Right.
Saved by the Bell.
Home Alone.
And anything before the year 1992.
Hey, the year I graduated high school.
Old.
It's Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz.
Available on iTunes, Stitcher, CastBox, Google Play, and more.
Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz on the Improviser's Guide Network.
The number you have dialed has been changed.
Man, that was amazing.
It was
we laughed, we cried. It was better than Cats.
So Jen is my best friend. I just thought everyone should know.
And Frank, the master of cargo short fedora combo, and he enjoys polo shirts as well. We're still on the hunt here. We've got a few more days. If we follow at Dillo's Diz on Twitter, you need to go do that. We got to get them to 2,500. Let me give you a live update. I'll tell you where they're at and how much more we need to do. If we can get them to 2,500 followers, they're at 2,218. So we need 282 followers to follow them by May 1st. And if we can do it, Frank has promised to wear lederhosen with Drunk Stormtrooper, starting in the Germany Pavilion of Epcot and walking around through the International Gateway up to the boardwalk and having a little bromantic stroll on the boardwalk. We've got to do it because the Twitter world, the Disney universe, Diz Twitter needs this to happen. So come on, people.
Where's Russia at right now?
I was going to say, I'm never one to advocate buying bots, but I'm sure for like upwards of a ruble, we could get 250 bots to follow them, right?
Well, we got one more promo to run, and that's for the Hyperion Adventures podcast.
The Hyperion Adventures Podcast. Everything Disney for every fan.
Hey, Disney fans, I'm Tom.
And I'm Michelle.
We're a couple of giant bi-coastal Disney fans.
That's right. I grew up with the Walt Disney World Resort.
And I grew up with the Disneyland Resort.
Yep. We met, fell in love, and joined our Disney-loving families.
That's right. And each week we share that love with all of you.
Whether it's about the Walt Disney World Resort
or the Disneyland Resort,
we have a lot of fun and bring you news, tips, and strategies to help you on your next Disney vacation.
Yep, Disney Cruise Line, Run Disney, and Disney Vacation Club as well.
And don't forget about all the Disney movies.
We'll spend some real quality time together.
Pixar.
Go infinity and beyond.
Marvel.
We're in the end game now.
Star Wars.
Water's strong in this one.
We love it all.
There's only one thing we love more than all of that.
What's that, sweetie?
Sharing every bit of it with each one of you.
Oh, yeah.
So check out the Hyperion Adventures podcast, Everything Disney for every fan. Find us and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher.
Love you.
Love you.
Love Disney.
Yeah. Go check them out. Hyperion Adventures podcast. They are at Hyperion Podcast on Twitter. And they recently did a pretty cool, a couple of podcast series where they said, basically they gave tips for people who are typically going to Walt Disney World, but now you're going to go try Disneyland. And then they also did the reverse. If you are used to Disneyland and you're going to go to Walt Disney World, what are the differences? What tips? Things like that. Pretty cool couple of episodes that you should check out for sure. But check out their whole thing. Subscribe. They're on all the things.
Ooh, yeah. I have a question. Was one of those differences one's in California?
That is one. You got it. You nailed it.
Look at that. I'm amazing. Follow my YouTube page. I don't have one.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for sending in those promos. Continue to do that, and we'll give you a little bit of airtime here. But for us, that's going to wrap up for today. We're at Morning Monorail on Twitter. We're on Facebook. You can like that fan page. We have a YouTube where we've posted some videos from our most recent trip. We're on the Instagram too. We're pretty much everywhere. And
it's the IG.
And we do want you to join the fam. Join the Nug Nation. #Nug Nation. And join us again next week when we bring you another episode of the Monday Morning Monorail Podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for riding with us today. We hope you enjoyed the journey, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, we want to hear from you. Send us questions, comments, and suggestions on Twitter at Morning Monorail. Our email address is mondaymorningmonorail@gmail.com. You can also call our voicemail at 407-917-2144. As we approach the station, gather your belongings and please watch your step as you exit.
See y'all.